from Hallmark. A wish that all our families can be together this Christmas.
I want you to listen to this. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things.
Happy holidays from Blood and Black Rum Podcast. This Christmas, we're doing something slightly different. We're bringing you on an adventure through Hallmark Christmas movies, specifically those starring Lacey Chabert, in a series we're calling Chaberting Gifts. You can expect visits from Christmas past and present, trips through Rome, and a whole lot more. We hope you enjoy our very festive and slightly romantic approach to this year's Christmas season. And just remember, heavy petting is not allowed.
Goulet!
Hey guys, welcome back to the Blood and Black Rum Podcast. I'm Ryan from closeflotation.com, and I'm joined with my co-host Martin.
How's it going?
Oh, we're doing well. Actually, today was a fairly magical snow day for us. It's like being in a snow globe, so it's perfect for the holiday festivities that we have going on at Blood and Black Rum Podcast.
Were you singing Christmas time?
Mm-hmm.
Christmas time.
Oh, and did the Charlie Brown dances, yeah. Now, I love the snow, and you know what? What better to celebrate our Lacey Chabert Chaberting Gifts Christmas festival than a nice snow globe that represents that almost look like the fake snow of all of the Hallmark movies that we've been covering. Because most of the snow that you see in there is like some guy with stuffing on the side, like ripping up a Build-A-Bear teddy bear, dropping it down from the sky. Or like dryer balls for snowballs. They're like, here's this big dryer ball, throw it. It's like a perfect snowball. Yeah, we're 2 in now. We've done 2 episodes of the Lacey Chabert Hallmark movies. Having a fun time with it. I mean, I'm not saying that watching the movies itself is all that fun sometimes. Sometimes you have to kind of steel yourself to get prepared. It's like, I'm going to watch a Hallmark movie, so I got to put myself in a different mindset here.
We started off with Christmas in Rome, where Franco Nero taught us the meaning of Christmas in Rome.
Yeah, an Italian Christmas.
And then we went out to the out west to Utah, to Mormon country for cul-de-sac Christmas time with some crazies and Haul Out the Holly.
Yeah, repping the HOAs, giving them some support.
Now we're going back to the EU.
Yeah, it seems like, we kind of been year hopping here. I can't remember exactly when Christmas in Rome premiered.
2022.
Really? 2022? Really?
No, 2018, I think.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, it seemed like at least a little bit older movie. So 2018 was Christmas in Rome. And then we did 2022 for Haul Out the Holly. And for today's episode, we have another, I think this one is 2021 technically.
It definitely seems like a COVID movie.
Yep, 2021. And this time, like you said, we're going to the EU, and we're going to Ireland. And it seems like Lacey Chabert just like comes on set as an executive producer and says like,
I want a vacation.
Yeah,
here.
I'd like to travel. So what do we got in the script pipeline of places they can go?
That's how that unrelated Hallmark movie where it's like a safari movie. That's how I was like. She's like, I want to go to Mozambique. Dude, what's going on? Let's do a movie out there. And they're like,
Lacey, what kind of budgets do you think we have here at Hallmark? We're making 70 different Christmas movies each year. There's a limited amount to go around.
Shannon Elizabeth is not going to like this at all.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It's almost like what Adam Sandler's been doing to Netflix, where he's like, me and my buddies would like to go on vacation here. So,
but these are actually better. But these are actually better quality films than like what Adam Sandler does. Adam Sandler gets paid like $20 million, and he's just like, pay me. Put money in my hand.
I've got a modicum of ideas for this movie. Yeah. I mean, at least with this one, you know, there's love and care involved in these Christmas movies. And of course, Lacey Chabert is not putting in, you know, her you know, low level acting. She's giving it her all in these. These are not movies that she takes lightly. You know, she's serious about this, and you know, that's fine too. You know, it's kind of cool to see someone like Lacey Chabert who's just like making Hallmark movies, doesn't really have that much of like a, you know, like an outside presence or like a celebrity presence where it's like clear, like, oh yeah, she's like a bitch in real life. Like, she just seems to authentically like to make Hallmark Christmas movies and or regular like just Hallmark movies in general. Because I think she's done some for like the Hallmark murder and movie mystery channel and stuff like that.
Yeah, it says on Wikipedia in 2022 when a bunch of actors left the channel to go to the Great American Family Network, she voiced her support and allegiance to Hallmark, which also got her more movies.
Yeah, I mean,
that sounds great. Like, what were you gonna go from Hallmark or to some upstart asshole like Great American Family? So that'd be like being like, yeah, I'm going to leave Hallmark to go to PAX. You remember PAX? No, because it's gone.
Yeah, she didn't want to go support Candace Cameron Bure and her.
Is that who's
yeah, that's who made Great American Family Network, and in her cavalcade of very bland white person romance at that network. You know, because that was famously Candace Cameron Bure has basically come out and become a wide-spoken bigot. So, I applaud Lacey Chabert for sticking around at Hallmark and just saying, no, I think I'll stay here. It's pretty comfy here. Pretty comfy. Yeah, so the one that we've got today is Christmas at Castle Hart. And I will say, I was looking up this movie in a database, and I put in Christmas at, and I just did a search. And, like, there's a fucking shitload of different movies that are Christmas at. And basically insert your whatever noun of a place you want, whatever location you want, it's probably there. It's like Christmas at the beach, Christmas at a cottage, Christmas at a bed and breakfast. Christmas is like fucking just list them out, and that location is probably there. Christmas at anime conventions.
I'm not one to ever pat Amazon on the back, but it was $1.99 to rent this movie in HD. So
I know, a 2021 movie, $1.99. Bravo.
Compared to Haul Out the Holly, which was $4.99.
Well, they had HOAs to pay.
It's true, but
that's why the sticker price was a little bit higher. Yeah, this is Christmas at Castle Hart, and it's basically like another one of your Hallmark movies, kind of like Christmas in Rome. It's just
a lot of walking, a lot of talking, a lot of exterior shots of the Ireland that you think you're seeing that you're not really seeing.
Yeah, we're getting back more to we're getting to the basics of like a Hallmark movie, which is basically insert two characters, insert location, and then do like Control F on your Microsoft Word document for your script and just like replace them. Replace all. All right, we're good. We got another script.
Insert emotions not higher than a 3.
Yeah. Whereas I will say about Haul Out the Holly, that movie was just plain weird. A much different Hallmark movie than the ones that we're talking about now. It wasn't a good movie, but it was definitely a weird one for the the normal setup of these movies. So yeah, it had that going for it. Christmas at Castle Hart's kind of more back to the basics of like, got a guy, you got a woman, they meet cute, in an unlikely scenario, and that woman also happens to be, like you said off the podcast, a girl boss figure who is very hell bent on making a company out of her ideas. It's pretty much like that's just like Christmas in Rome. But
she's a very, business forward person.
Yeah,
like all
savvy.
Americans.
That's right.
She just had the right kind of financing, her ideas would take off.
That's right. And the funny thing about it too is like in this movie and in Christmas in Rome, she's not living the American dream. She's not able to start her company in America. She's got to go to either Rome or Ireland.
Well, you know why? Her fucking apartment is, ridiculous.
She's spending too much money on the apartment itself instead of putting money, investing into her own company. Which is, it's funny too, because in this movie, she really just has like an idea to have this company. Whereas in Christmas in Rome, she had like everything like blocked out already. So when they did like the business plan for her, she was like, I've already got these employees that I've already talked to. Like, we'll get it started. In this one, they're just kind of like off the cuff. Yeah, we're starting a event planning business. We have no employees, no ideas, but we'll get it done. So that's basically the gist of Christmas at Castle Hart. And then you know the drill. It's romance. There's Christmas.
There's desire.
I think there's a fateful Christmas Eve meetup. It's your usual Hallmark movie, but Lacey Chabert brings
baking. I think Lacey Chabert.
Oh yeah,
likes to show off her baking skills.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
like
baking.
You want me to make a figgy pudding? Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, and it's you know the drill. But like Lacey Chabert, she brings her A game, and she, if you're gonna watch a Hallmark movie like this, one of the reasons to do so is because Lacey Chabert is always consistent. So, all right, let's take a break real quick. Let's talk about the beer we got on the show before I finish it. I want to get through it before we actually talk about it. So, on the show today, it was my turn to pick. And I was concerned because I didn't really want to get another winter warmer. It's not really Martin's favorite style, for one thing. And to be honest with you, though it is the flavors of the season, you get your cinnamon, your allspice, your nutmeggy elements to it. It is a very specific type of beer that you can only drink in small quantities. And at least in my opinion, like I couldn't sit down and just like throughout the day, like drinking all these winter warmers. It's just not, it's too flavorful, too powerful, overpowering. It's like eggnog. You can't just sit down and, like in the movies, Christmas Vacation being a prime example. They show people having like pitchers of eggnog just sitting around. Like people are going to town, grabbing moosefuls of eggnog. And I literally could not do that. I can drink one glass of eggnog and then I'm like, oof, I'm good and I can't eat dinner. So that's kind of how it is with me for winter warmers. But instead, I did find something extremely intriguing, and I had seen a picture of it previously that I knew that the store had it, and I was very interested. This is Lone Pine Brewing's Holy Donut, and they have a series of Holy Donut beers that are based off of donut flavors and using donuts in the mix and stuff. And this is a imperial stout with donuts, dark chocolate, and peppermint. It's called the Dark Chocolate Peppermint Holy Donut. So it's very intriguing because it's, more flavors of the season. I fucking love donuts too. Donuts are one of those things that I can just, like if somebody has a donut, there's no way I'm not going to eat one of those donuts. Like they bring a box of donuts. There's no way I'm passing up at least one of those donuts.
But they're all old fashions, and you don't.
You know what? That's okay. If I don't have a cup of coffee, an old fashioned is not that okay. And I don't know if I think I probably talked about this on the show where I was mowing one day. I've just gotten done with like 3 different lawns mowing, and this older gentleman, he's very nice. He was one of my clients. He was like, "Here, have a break," and I was like, "Okay, yeah." And he's like, "Here's a donut." And I was like, "Okay. All right, I'll eat a donut." And it was an old-fashioned donut. It's, just completely dry. And my mouth is already dry, and I'm super thirsty, and I'm just eating this old-fashioned donut to please him. Like, oh, thanks for the donut.
It's basically like the old lady in fucking The Wedding Singer handing out meatballs. Now I want you to eat it.
It was a nice, kind gesture, but you know what? On a really hot summer day when you're really sweaty, like an old-fashioned donut just does not go down very well. So yeah, but I mean, otherwise though, if I had a cup of coffee, it's been a while, but if I had a cup of coffee with an old-fashioned donut and dunk it in there, actually, I'm starting to think I need to go out and get a old-fashioned donut right now. But I love donuts. I love peppermint during the season. I actually drink peppermint tea like every single night during Christmas season. It's just flavors of the season. And I got to say that we've had two other Lone Pines before. We've had one, or at least I have. We've had one of the Holy Donuts, which was a sour. It was really good. And then on the show, we've had their sour punch as well, which, or not, maybe not on the show. I thought it was, but maybe it was only me. But either way, both of them are really good. So I was excited to try this Holy Donut Peppermint Stout. And I've got to say, I like it a lot. I think it's a really solid stout. It's got a great chocolatey, smooth, flavorful base. One thing I do want to point out about this stout too is that it doesn't just take on coffee flavor, which is, I think, a problem with some of the imperial stouts that people are putting out, is where they say it's an imperial stout, but what it actually has is like just a lot of coffee flavor to it.
Or alcohol.
or alcohol being really extremely strong. This does not. This stout is literally what it says. Very dark chocolate stout base to it, but very smooth. And then it has a kick of peppermint that you get when you first take a sip of it that kind of dissipates. So the peppermint is not like overly present or like extremely overpowering. Because sometimes peppermint can be overpowering, especially when it's artificially flavored, where it's like, that kind of tastes weird, like a Pepto-Bismol-y sort of minty flavor. And this does not have that either. It really does taste like hint of peppermint with that nice chocolate stout base. And I think it's a really solid stout from Lone Pine.
Yeah, I totally agree. This is really good, especially for the season. It's basically like having a nice little York peppermint patty. It's definitely filled with dark chocolate, which I do enjoy. No real coffee notes here. As you said, the peppermint does hit you first. You get like a nice little, sweet cooling, and the beer does like kind of have like a cooling like taste to it as you're tasting the peppermint. Big hits of dark chocolate. The alcohol gives a little bit of heat on the back end. Keep like the Ommegang Blonde Stout, Imperial Blonde. It like keeps you nice, like it's not too much and too taxing, and it's like keeps you feeling nice and warm as you're drinking it. This is a damn good dessert beer, and something that definitely fits the mood and season of what's going on right now. And it's definitely something that Christmas Eve, like, oh, let's sit down and watch the Saxon log, John Saxon Yule log.
Yeah,
I would be very open to doing such thing.
I would 100% get this again. Like, it's that good. Sometimes there are beers where like, yeah, I liked it a lot. Probably wouldn't go out of my way to get it again. This one, definitely. I would definitely, for the season, be picking this up again. Because it really is damn good. And I'm glad that I have another one. I'm having one tonight. I'm saving the other one for another time. But it is, like you said, it's a nice dessert beer, one to settle down by the fire by. Drink it nice and slow, savor it. It's really good. And I'm curious because I know that there was another peppermint bark stout that was released by who was the other one that just released that too? I can't remember now. But another company released a peppermint bark stout, and I'm curious to see how that holds up with this one, because I wonder just who's doing it better. So I'll have to check that out. See what that's like. But this is really good from Lone Pine. Have not had a bad one from Lone Pine, so really recommend that brewery. They're out of Maine, Portland, Maine. Actually, I was in Portland this summer. Wish I had known where to go and check that out, because I missed out on going to Lone Pine. All right, so let's get into Christmas at Castle Hart. So basically, let's start out from the beginning. Christmas at Castle Hart has Lacey Chabert and her sister, who is named Margot in this, played by Allie Hardiman. They're sisters. They both work for a catering event planning company, led by this one woman who just is like a Paige Monaghan is her name. She's kind of a bear, and they get fired from that at a party. They get fired at it around Christmas time. And the one thing I found kind of hard to believe is that Lacey Chabert and Allie Hardiman were related in this movie. Like, I thought when she said, "You're my sister," I thought she was saying that figuratively. Like,
yeah, metaphorically.
Like, oh, yeah, like, you know, you're my sister. I'll support you because you're my friend and we have an apartment together. You're like my roommate. But no, literally, they are sisters. And it's kind of hard to see that. I don't know why, but it just, like, it doesn't mesh very well. But they're sisters. And roommates, and they have this fucking swanky ass apartment that they show you early on in the movie, and they're kind of like down on their luck. They're like, "Oh man, I can't believe we just got fired. We really needed that job. We really,"
which is the most ridiculous thing ever. That pool party is ridiculous. Like Lacey Chabert as like in her like Playboy Mansion waitress outfit, like handing out puff pastries, and the one was like, yeah, like, "Excuse me, what is that?" They're Claire's, ma'am. What? This is an outrageous.
I don't know how would that Claire's even get to that party if she didn't approve them, right? Like, she didn't, like, how did she not know Claire's were on the menu?
She just wants to not be that good at her job.
Apparently so, right? Like that's your fault.
Yeah.
Paige.
Why you're the one that? Yeah, you guys say you sign the baker. You sign who's going to be, what the menu. You got to go, view it over. It's not like, hey, you say, oh, yeah, whatever, do it whatever you want,
Yeah. But anyway, they get fired, and you see this fucking massive apartment. They're like, wow, what are we gonna do? We really needed those jobs, and now we don't have any jobs. And they're like, you're thinking, okay, so what's a girl to do? You really need a job. It's Christmas season. Down on your luck. And you know what they say? Let's go to Ireland. Let's get 2 plane tickets at the Christmas season, like a week before Christmas.
Well, they do say, like, yeah, Dad's dead. Dad's dead. Yeah, Dad's dead. Dad wanted us to go find our Irish fruits. Yeah, but we really can't right now. Yeah. But hey, Dad's dead, and he left us a little nest egg, which means, like, they were probably just waitressing for fun. Like, they weren't even,
right. Yeah.
Like, you didn't even need the job or anything.
Like, bored. Do you want to do that? Then I guess we'll just waitress, both at the same position. It's funny because it's like, oh, these poor rich white girls. Yeah, they should go explore their roots in Ireland. Like people. And again, this is fantasy porn.
Didn't you love the CGI background too when they're in their apartment, like in the night skyline in New York? It's just, CGI'd in.
You gotta remember this is fantasy porn for the poor people who are like, yeah, it would be great to go to Ireland, right? So they're living vicariously through these characters in the Hallmark movie where nothing bad, or mostly nothing bad, happens to them, except for, in this movie, Lacey Chabert's been divorced. Apparently, what did she say? What did she say happens? Something about he lied a lot or something like that? Was that the problem? I can't remember. She talks about it because, like, when she gets with the Aiden, he says something about it. She says, yeah, I'm divorced. And he says, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, well, it's not your fault. Unless you forced him to lie or something like that, and have sex with the gym trainer or something. I don't think she does it quite like that, but something similar. But yeah, so in this movie, there are some bad things that do happen, like Lacey Chabert is divorced,
which we all know is not true.
Which can't possibly be be the case. That's the fake part of this fictional narrative.
I call nonsense. It's a lie.
Yeah. But like, again, this is fantasy porn, so you kind of have to take it at face value. But it's still a little ridiculous to see these two women who are like, let's just pick up the Christmas season and travel to Ireland. We'll stay at this immense bed and breakfast or whatever where they're staying at, this hotel that they're staying at. But that sets it all in motion, right? So we go to Ireland. We go to like this little town in Ireland, and they see this guy in town, and it's kind of like,
might as well be called like Sharon Magora, because it's basically like, random Ireland place, like, when you think of like an Irish town, what do you think of? Like, Quentin, let's go to the pub first. Wouldn't that be great? It's so Irish, you're just missing liquor running through the streets, bar fights, and, ladies getting shiners from their husbands.
Yeah, it's hilarious, too, because they make a point in this movie of showing that Brooke, Lacey Chabert's character, is literally picks out the pub, because they're like, let's just go visit a pub, like a normal Irish pub. And then they show, the male character, Aiden, and the love interest, he's already at this pub, and he's a fucking earl too, by the way. He's an earl that's come back to this town. Just because.
Let's say not only that. No, the part which is like Margot's like, isn't it a little early to be drinking at a bar? And they're like, Grandpa, Dad used to love drinking, or somebody in the family used to love drinking cider this early in the morning. It's like, who do you know who was like, this isn't 1842? Like, it's not the like a William Henry Harrison fucking campaign. Tippy Canoe and Tyler too. He's an engine fighting man drinking cider. Like, there's like 3 people left on this earth that I know that like wake up in the morning, like if they had to choose the alcoholic drink, they're like, cider. Yeah,
I'll take the cider. I know. But they make it a point to show Brooke picking out this pub in particular. She's like, I choose that one. And it's like when they show the exterior shot, it's the only pub in the general vicinity. It's like, of course you choose that one. It's literally the only one in town, the only pub that there's available. So, but it's like supposed to be showing like, oh, it's fated. She's meant to meet this man because she picked it. But it's hilarious.
And then they go in, and she's like, "What do you have?" And she's like, "What's on the menu?" And they're like, "Beer, whiskey, or whiskey and beer."
Oh, like, guess I'll be having a beer then. Yeah. Then this is another movie too.
They're so Irish.
It's hilarious too because when Aiden goes in, he's like, he wants a beer, and she gives him like a nice dark beer, like a dark stout.
Either like a Guinness or a Murphy's. Yeah.
And then Lacey Chabert goes in, and she's like, I'll take a beer. And they give her like this nice like American Pilsner. They're like, yeah, this bitch, she just wants water.
Well, her sister's like said whiskey, so she's sitting there with her fucking Irish whiskey,
like grimacing, like you,
like
you drinking it, like the whiskey face. I like it, but it's kind of harsh.
Excuse me, what percentage is this spirit? Oh goodness, oh God. Smells like carpet. It smells like carpet.
She drinks it, she turns into fucking Jim Varney. Yeah. So basically that's the meet cute though, is they meet at a pub, and he's like, hey, why don't you two random ladies just over to my castle and I'll give you a private tour.
Well, first he's like, well, if you're looking for leprechauns, there's a rainbow down the road, but you better be careful,
Yeah, that's true. He's kind of off-put by their, like, because I think they squealed. They're like, this is so Irish. It's such a pub. It's an Irish pub.
And if it was more Gen Z, they'd have their phone out. We're here at the wonderful Irish pub. Look, and with all these quaint locals.
I know. We found a hidden treasure here in Glasgow or whatever the city's called. With their TikTok, like no one's ever been here before.
people come in and out walking around, and they're like, yeah, there's a fucking giant castle here.
Yeah, but Aiden's like, he invites him for a private tour, and like, you know, if this is any other movie, like I've seen a couple movies that start out that way, and they certainly don't end in the romance. Christmas Egg, especially with two women, they don't end in the romance that Christmas Egg Castle Hart has when he gets a private tour.
The sequel to this is the house is October built.
The private tour is the little explored other hole for the two women. No, this is an upstanding film. Of course, and like a good Hallmark movie, there's very little touching whatsoever. Hand holding, no.
A lot of words. A lot of words and assurance.
Yeah. Well, so basically, then what happens is they go to the castle and they get roped into a scheme where Margot basically gets them involved in helping with setting up a gala that they're throwing at this castle for another. What is she? Duchess? Is she a duchess? Is that what they're calling her?
Yeah, duchess. Yeah,
she's a duchess. Yeah, Duchess of Abercorn. Sounds like you've got a problem, a podiatry problem. The Abercorn. It's like the absolute worst corn of your life. But the Abercorn.
Well, that one right there, where it's positioned, means you know what that is. That's the Duchess of Abercorn.
But yeah, they're throwing a gala, and like the castle itself, I guess, is like falling on hard times because
they're going bankrupt.
Yeah, the bank is repossessing them, right? They're coming out like, we're just gonna take this castle from you. You may be royalty, but the bank can come in and foreclose on it.
We've fallen on hard times. You own a castle,
like, yeah, right. Yeah. So I think what they're doing is they're like, were they renting out this castle or something?
It's like a hotel.
And like, to be honest with you, it makes sense that they're not doing that well because it's like the castle doesn't even have a fucking bathroom. There's no signs because Lacey Chabert's like at a 12. She said, "I'm at a 12." Like she's up to her eyeballs in urine.
Yes.
There's something to be said about the fetish in here. They're like keep talking about her pee, but they can't find a bathroom in this fucking like castle that they've been having tours in. So something's gone wrong with the tour business here, and they need help. They need the Lacey Chabert from Christmas in Rome to come in here. Like, forget Rome. They need you over here in Ireland to guide people around this castle because they're not doing a very good job about directing people. But ultimately, they get roped into a scheme where it's like they need to help host this gala, and because serendipitously, it's always been the Bennett sisters' dream to become a event planning team, like who they work for with Paige Monaghan. They end up pretending like they're Paige Monaghan, let's just say it, a strong black woman who has a website, and they're like, "Oh, you're Paige Monaghan. Wow. Let's have you work on our gala then." And it's hilarious because like it's 2021, and they literally even say, "Oh, we checked out your website. It looks really great." It's like there wasn't an about page like, "Hi, I'm Paige Monaghan. This is my event planning service. And here's my picture. I don't look like Lacey Chabert."
She's modest. She doesn't have a picture on the website.
She's like a mysterious face. Like everybody knows the name Paige Monaghan, but they don't know what she looks like because she attends all the events herself and then picks on the eclairs. But it's a stupid setup. It's really stupid. So Margot's basically like...
Also too, because like the film is so serious and like also like a love story that's going on, and then you got fucking Margot just being like the wild and wacky hijinks, and they're like, ugh.
Yeah, she really is.
Wait, you just called her Brooke. Yeah, we're Brooke. Oh, well, she used to when she was a kid when I was reading a book would call me Brooke.
and she couldn't say it. She couldn't say bookworm, so she did bookworm. And then I became Brooke. Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of stretches here.
Like all of her scenes, like all those bits with the like when they're like that is like such like Disney Channel, That's So Raven, Sweet Life, like nonsense. Like what is this? Like this is like very poorly written comedy, and it's not even funny. It's especially because Allie Hardiman as Margot is dreadful. Like they pulled her off a fucking like dinner theater out in like Fargo or something. I don't know. Like,
well, I mean, I feel bad for her a little bit because they do give her like a really shit part, and people, if you read some of like the user reviews of this movie, like a lot of people did not like her character, and that makes sense because she's really annoying, and she, it makes sense to not like her. I do feel bad for the actress though because she just didn't have a lot to work with, and she had to like kind of, I don't know, she had to infuse this role with some sort of empathy. So she did what she could, but yeah, it's an annoying character for sure, and honestly not necessary at all. Like on the idea that these sisters both work at the same company, or they both work under Paige Monaghan, they both have the same apartment, they both are going to Ireland together. It just stretches belief for sure, but I think that she did what she could with the part that she had. So I do feel bad for her a little bit, but annoying character all around. So basically, once that gets set up, this whole idea that the Bennetts are going to be working on this gala, you have that same sort of like Christmas in Rome style, like girl boss thing where they're getting to work. They've got to help out these characters. And at least in this movie, though, there is some semblance of conflict. The conflict being like they have to keep their identity a secret and they have to pretend like they're Paige Monaghan throughout the movie, where you've got this like one other character who's Fiona Walsh, who's coming in and she's trying to write like a story news article about Paige Monaghan doing the gala. And they're like, oh no.
For Irish Living.
Yeah. We can't.
For Irish Living magazine here.
Like Fiona Walsh knows what Paige Monaghan looks like, and Lacey Chabert doesn't look like that, so we got to keep her away from her at all times.
You're not a black lady, a bit black woman.
So basically that's the movie, like, right? Like,
well, to be fair, hold on. If Lacey Chabert was Scarlett Johansson, she could be that bitchy black woman.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
because Scarlett Johansson can do any role.
That's right. If she really put her mind to it, Lacey Chabert could probably embody that role. But yeah, I mean, so basically that's it, really. And so the idea is that Brooke, Lacey Chabert's character, spends so much time with Aiden because he's kind of like chauffeuring her around. It's like, yes, I'll help you find a caterer. Yes, I'll help you, find an artist for whatever reason that makes no sense to the movie that it needs to be at the gala.
Yes, well, yeah, I say yes, I'll show you around Ireland. Yes, I'll talk about me being an architect because everyone's always an architect.
And for some reason, there's a like Irish chapel in the back of the castle that hasn't been repaired. It's like, it's been my life's dream to try to get this up and running again, but for some reason, we just haven't done that. Yeah, I mean, the idea is that they spend so much time together that they start falling in love with each other. And Aiden is sharing all this information with Brooke, but he thinks she's Paige Monaghan. So there's that whole inevitable misunderstanding at the end where Brooke has to come clean and say, I'm not Paige. I'm Brooke. And I don't know anything about event planning. I literally have had...
Except what I dream,
Yeah, I've had no experience event planning. So you probably wouldn't have hired me. And they're like, yeah, no, that's true. We definitely wouldn't have hired you knowing that you have had no experience whatsoever with event planning. But, this is a Hallmark movie, so everything works out really well at the end. The gala is a huge success, even though it looks boring as shit. And actually, at one point, they even talk about how the Duchess looks like she's going to fall asleep. And the other thing, too, is that what I found really funny is for the event, for the actual excitement, they hire like Irish dancers. It's like that seems like something a person who thinks they know about Ireland would do, right? Like that would be
river. That's again like it's so like seems like so American, like river dance. Like you just go everywhere, and in the streets they're going, "Whoa!"
Yes. And like they love it. Like the Duchess loves it. But you would think like for real Irish people, they were like, yeah, okay, it's fucking river dance. I don't know. We don't always dance all the time like this, you know. Like we also do the waltz sometimes. You know, I like that too. You know, it feels like
I like to do walk like an Egyptian every now and.
Yeah, it feels like why didn't you pull out the electric slide here? It's like something that was written as a person, like an American who is like, these people watching Hallmark, they're not going to know anything about Ireland, so let's give them river dance.
Well, again, that's how you know, because like it's this man's an earl. That's not like titles in Ireland have been banished for like over 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't like the Constitution, so you know, it's just silly. It's just silly. Like you couldn't like just put it in England or Wales or something, you know. No, it's in Ireland, and like, oh yeah, I am the earl, and that means so much. That's why I fucked off to become an architect.
I know. So, I mean, how do you feel about the romance? What do you think Christmas at Castle Hart brings for the romance?
Well, Lacey and Irish Quentin Tarantino have some chemistry.
There's not that much feet in this movie.
No, but his haircut and like his face, he kind of looks like fucking Quentin. Like, let me tell you about this movie I'm about to make, Lacey. I'm in Hollywood. And I think you're really gonna like it. I think you know, if you don't want Charles Manson's girls, you really, you know, you really like what we're doing. We need to be bad with it. Is that a good Tarantino impression?
I don't know. It kind of was like
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I was kind of like going into a Mike Tyson there at some points, but
Tarantino, when he speaks fast, he does kind of like have like a Tyson to him.
Yeah.
But, the romance is okay. I mean, again, the problem with these films outside of Christmas in Rome, which also had thespian actor Franco Nero, Lacey Chabert is the whole charisma in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Stuart Townsend's not bad as Aiden, but they're not really. It's not anything magnificent chemistry wise. You don't look at these two and be like, oh, this is love at first sight.
No, it's not the vacuum that's Haul Out the Holly, but it's
better than it's definitely better than Haul Out the Holly. But compared to like Christmas in Rome, which at least like they do seem like there's some chemistry there. Here it's just like it's like a TV movie. What are you gonna do about it? And it's for the Hallmark Channel, so it's very platonic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like a friendship, really, and that's the problem with the Hallmark movies and the Christmas movies is that everything has to be a romance. It's like written in the contract. It's like it has to be a romance. And like, what's wrong with just like these two people finding friendship in Ireland? Why can't they just be like, wow, I really enjoyed the time that we spent together in Ireland, but you are absolutely getting friend zoned. You know, there's nothing wrong with having.
Especially too because everything is so platonic up until the last 4 minutes, where they kind of boat race off to like the things I'd put in your ass.
Yeah, I don't think they go that far.
But I can't go that far because it's Hallmark. But you know, you can tell by the glint in his eye, like you know.
Yeah, they say like, what is that? Like I've got a couple of bad dragon toys back home.
Listen, you don't want to know how. Listen, you don't want to know how much I spent on that fucking dress, okay?
Yeah, no, I totally agree though. Like about the platonicness, they're like, hey, let's go out and have some food and like talk work, and like let's go out and
talk shop.
Let's talk about my divorce and how I feel about it. And then all of a sudden, like again, because it's Hallmark, there's no touching. There's the semblance of cleavage from Lacey Chabert, who gets to wear sometimes a fairly low cut shirt or a sweater. But other than that,
back-to-back movies, she's busted out that white fucking hideous fox frock that she wear, faux fur looking thing with her shoulders adorned. and which is fine, but just like that looks terrible. That's something somebody who's like 42 would pick out and be like, how do I look? Do I look hip?
Yeah. But like the Hallmark thing is that they don't even touch, they don't even kiss. There's no fire.
No passion.
Yeah, there's no passion here. And so like it kind of comes out in all these movies, it comes out of left field where it's just like, and they love each other and they'll live happily ever after and they'll get married. And it's like love for like 7-year-olds trying to explain. Yeah.
Like, what's mom, dad? What's love? Here, watch this.
Well, you meet each other, you have a conversation, and you awkwardly hold hands for a few moments, and you find out, hey, I think I want to spend the rest of my life with this person, even though I have no idea about them. It's pretty much Christmas at Castle Hart. The only
makes me feel things.
Yeah, there's like one maybe little bit of passion is when at the gala, Lacey Chabert comes out in her like red dress, her form-fitting dress, and they get a shot of Stuart Townsend. He's like, wow. I love those shots too because I guess this is probably not a good thing to like admit, I guess, but like there's never really been a time where I've seen anyone and I was like just jaw-dropping, starstruck, speechless.
By their beauty?
Right. Like,
well, don't let your wife know.
That's what I was saying. No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that in a bad way, but not like in the movies way, where it's just like tongue lolling out like fucking in a cartoon, like a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yeah, like you're the wolf, like in a text.
Yeah. Because that's pretty much how they make it in this movie. It's like where Stuart Townsend, like literally all the blood went down. His entire body's just like, ooh, but you don't.
He's like
it would have been nice to get a zoom out shot.
Will Ferrell Anchorman, like, oh my God, you have an erection. Yep, no, there it is.
Exactly. We needed the zoom out shot to, there's a whole lot of ways.
It's the pleats.
Yeah. There was a Netflix movie that actually kind of tried to parody like the Hallmark movies, but I feel like you could go even a little bit crasser than that one did, because that one tried to be like a parody but also a Hallmark movie. I feel like we could make a much crasser version where you have all of these elements to it, but it's amped up to like ridiculous, like Not Another Teen Movie type levels of like Hallmark movies. Because those types of things where you get a zoom out shot, you see like the huge erection coming off of him. Those would be great moments. Because I think like, again, that's probably the extent of the passion that we get until the very end, where they like share a passionate kiss on Christmas Eve, and then miraculously she's impregnated by that. Yeah, abstinent until making out.
Oh, baby, there's a baby in me.
Exactly. And even I kind of feel bad too for Allie Hardiman, because throughout too they're trying to hint at like, oh, she's also met someone. She's met Killian,
which no one gives a shit.
Right, and no one cares. It's like no one cares about Margot. No one cares about her relationship. And then all of a sudden at the end they're just like, yeah, and there's Killian too, and I love him too, and we both fell in love. Like no one cares. Like you're not the focal point here. We only care about Brooke. We only care about Aiden. Sorry, Killian. You're getting pushed aside. What do you think about the Christmas and Christmas at Castle Hart?
Too much snow for Ireland. Way too much snow.
I mean, Ireland does get a little bit of snow.
Not that much.
But yeah, this one does.
It's like constant blizzard out there. Like,
what about the CGI Christmas decorations? It's clear that they basically had an okay from whoever in Ireland. They're like, yeah, you can get some exterior shots of the castle. And they're like, what if we decorate it? And they're like, no, absolutely not. You can get an exterior shot of the castle, and that is it. So they decided they were going to use CGI decorations for all of it. And half the time, the fucking CGI Christmas trees are floating. I swear to God. If you look close enough, it'd be like, wow, that Christmas tree is ghostly. It's like Victorian Charles Dickens Christmas tree floating in the background. This movie, though, I don't know what the budget is, but it's certainly one of the most CGI-heavy Hallmark movies that I've ever seen. I don't know if that's because of COVID, where it was just kind of like shot during COVID, so they were like, well, we can't really do the set design and stuff that we normally would. But there's a lot of Christmas CGI decorations, and there's that whole CGI horse riding sequence that is completely out of left field.
I used to ride horses. Oh, me too. Is that Arabian? No, yeah. Oh, let's mount up and go for a ride.
It's like reminiscent of the Witcher series that's on Netflix right now. Of like CGI. It's like all of a sudden we're teleported to the Witcher universe of Lacey Chabert and this guy riding horses.
I would love to see Lacey Chabert be head for a fingerprint.
Yeah, in the Witcher series. I would love it too. I mean, that would be kind of interesting. It can't be any worse than what we got. Witcher series. I struggled myself through that last season. Whew.
It's not the last season.
I mean, it might be the last season for me. It's not the last season for the show, but it might be for me.
Well, I only got through the first season. I couldn't.
Man, that was a slog. It's no wonder that they released the last, 3 episodes, like a month later, because there's like, you need a break. Netflix is like, you guys, you're gonna need a break. You're gonna have to take some time off, go think about what you've been watching, and then make the conscious decision to come back and watch this last 3.
Yeah, if you want it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like the stuff they do, like it's again like very definitely reminiscent of the past films. Like there's baking involved. There's a lot of walking and talking. There's, going around Ireland in his Rolls Royce and, eating meat pies, going to a pub. Like it's just like just random fun. I think the whole escapade of it, like, them weekend at Bernieing by being like, we gotta keep this charade up, is like the most annoying part of the film.
Mm-hmm.
If they just had it like, oh yeah, I'm a event planner on holiday, yeah, fine, I'll help you out, that would have been fine. I think adding the twist of like this chicanery is unnecessary. And I think adding her, Ali Hardman as like a character also kind of takes away from it too. Especially because the third plot of like, we want to find our roots, so it gets brought up like 3 times and like comes to a happy resolution at the end. Because the Duchess of Abercorn is also like the fucking Ancestry.com of that.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, your family tree. I know your family tree by heart. Which side are you on? Yeah, the whole idea becomes quite like silly at the end of the movie, where they're like, oh yeah, and everybody you've been working with, yeah, you're related to them. It would have been the icing on the cake would have been like if Killian came in and like, yeah, and I'm your first cousin. We've been fucking, and you didn't realize, but I'm your first cousin. I knew it all along, but it's just stupid.
Well, that's funny too, because in the beginning when they're at the bar and she's like, "Oh, our family name's O'Reilly," and they're like, "Yeah, raise your hand if you're an O'Reilly." Like, and like half the bar does. It's like, "See, we're all O'Reillys."
The whole this is the hometown of O'Reilly Auto Parts. everybody there is an O'Reilly. Yeah, it's funny though. It's like this film doesn't really I don't know if not understand, but it's just kind of like treats its audience as stupid. It's like, Ireland is such a small place. Like, everybody's related to each other here. Like, you go to a random small village, yeah, you got cousins there. You got an aunt there. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's if I were like an Irish, because I think they did get some actual Irish actors in this movie. Like, I think Stuart Townsend is an Irish actor. If I was an Irish actor, I would be a little bit offended by this movie. So it treats it's so stupid. Just treats everything so stupidly. I really like too the idea that like Brooke basically she tries to get a caterer. Caterer's like, "You're not Paige Monaghan. I'm out." And so they have to like go to the local pub and they're like, "Will you cater this?" And she's like, "What do you want me to do? Like, you want me to make like meat pies? Like will the royalty really like meat pies and sausages and stuff like that?"
Well, we'll just say it's ceviche. You know, she lists off like this long French, like
they're like, it's haricot vert, green beans, and it's haricot vert instead of green beans. But I like how they like try to serve that up, and it's like, yeah, they probably would eat that, but like the royalty probably would be loving it if this party was like kind of situated around like pretend you're like the poor people, like
a night on the town with the poors.
We're eating like the poors tonight. It's like, oh, it's so delicious.
It's like Titanic, especially like when they run out like the fucking river dancing stuff too. They're like, oh, it's like Kate Winslet and fucking Titanic like spinning around on the lower decks with fucking Leo. Like, oh, this is what you poors do.
Yeah, no, that's kind of how I imagine it. Like they don't go into that in this movie. They kind of just treat it like, oh yeah, look,
it's whimsical. It's whimsical.
Yeah, they like the meat pies. They like the song and dance that we do. But like, yeah, I could see like another movie tackling that and be like, the ridiculousness of pretending to be the lower class and the what do they call that? The peerage. Yeah, it's all kind of ridiculous and hilarious, but I'm okay with it to a certain extent. I don't think that this movie, though, has nearly the charm or the, like, I guess even like the locales that Christmas in Rome had. Maybe it was bad that we did Christmas in Rome first because now we're like comparing everything to Christmas in Rome, but I don't think Christmas at Castle Hart has nearly the amount of charm that one had. It doesn't have the
it's missing like a fun like Irish actor. Where is fucking Colm Meaney to show up? Old Miles O'Brien and the flight that went down in Die Hard 2.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's like,
where's he? Yeah.
And he also, too, because it's like around the same time, too, that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia did a fucking season in Ireland. And Charlie's dad actually ends up being Colm. I'm your dad, Charlie.
Yeah, it's missing that joie de vivre. We're going to be fancy about it. Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. In Irish, Siobhan.
This movie has a lot of that very generic, like, oh, Irish names. And they even mentioned Saoirse.
Kieran.
Yeah, Gillian, Kieran, and Clara. Who's the other? Siobhan.
Which Siobhan's a great name. That's a great
name. It is a nice name. For a long time, though, before I knew it was Siobhan, I would always say Siobhan. Yeah, it has a lot of like very generic Irish names too, but it's just missing something that would make it interesting. I guess the conflict at the end is slightly interesting because Paige comes in and she's like, "You're not Paige. I should have you arrested." And then Duchess comes in and like, "You get out of here," because they did a great job. I will never get you another job here in Ireland again.
Did you see like her knockoff Louis Vuitton bag too that she was carrying?
I didn't notice. No.
Oh, Paige, like when she's like holding it. It's great.
So
I do love it too, though. As you said, like the Duchess is like, they made great hors d'oeuvres, you little shit.
I know. We had such a fun time.
I river danced for the first time in 40 fucking years.
And not only that, but Liam brought a hideous statue Christmas tree thing that he like tried to play off as like some meaningful shit, and it was literally just like chicken wire. And
well, that's the other thing too that's so fucking stupid. Like, well, back in the day, my father, the castle, we'd have a party around Christmas time, and the community would get together. But then when we took over, we made it for the Duchess, and the people in town really disliked that. and now we're falling on hard times. Like, what a fucking stupid thing. Like, so, like, oh, my one business during the year is renting this fucking castle out to, like, you know, the Duchess of Abercorn or whatever the fuck for a gala and be like, please run the green, please run the green, please run the green.
Well, it's like no wonder the town doesn't like you though. It's like you did the one thing that you're doing for the community and now you're not. It's like, yeah, why would they? See, all of the scenes with like the actual community are very painful. Like when they have the Christmas tree lighting and the mayor's like, "Oh, Earl, I did my lord, we're going to be here."
My lord.
Yeah, why don't you come on up here? I hope you don't bring me to the gallows. Why don't you come up here and fucking say some words up here? And then
It's like he's Robespierre.
oh yeah, I know. It's kind of ridiculous how they treat him because it's just like it's
anytime somebody sees him in town, they're like, "'Tis a far, far better thing." Like,
and then like they have a kid that just pops out of nowhere and just throws a snowball at him, and
like his credits, little shit.
And then later on, Lacey Chabert, like, because all he does bad, he's like, "Oh, if you throw a snowball, be ready to get one back," and then he throws one back at them, and then they light the tree. And then Lacey Chabert's like, "You handled that so well." It's like, but how else was he going to handle it? Was he going?
No. She also said the funny line, "You throw like an earl."
Yeah. Somebody had to get that pun in there.
I heard the rim shot from miles away.
How else was he going to handle that? Are they more accustomed to like taking him back and throwing them in the dungeon? Like, you'll rot here. Throwing a snowball at an earl? Are you kidding me?
It's treason.
It's like no wonder he's disliked in town. Hilarious.
Got no reason to be like.
Everybody in town is hoping for the castle's demise. Like, people come in, tourists come in, they're like, "Don't go to that castle. Don't stay there. He's an asshole.
He's an architect."
Yeah. And I've heard they have a rundown chapel in the back too. Disgrace. Because at the end, it's like Aiden to his sister, he's like, "I'm going to stay here and I'm going to fix up that chapel." It's like, okay. It would have been really funny if she's just like, the rundown chapel in the back? Like,
no, it gets really creepy at the end between those two.
Yeah, they have more of a spark.
I don't like, "Oh, my brother who's back. We can work together."
Well, you know how you keep it royalty, right?
It's keep it
in the family. They can't be branching out, of course.
Yeah, gotta keep blood pure. No, I get it, but I mean, it is. But no, you're right. They definitely have more chemistry because it's like the way they act. Like after like she walks off, like you expect to hear like, "Oh, Aiden, your poor Sabone is stuck in the dryer."
Yeah, it's they have more spark. They definitely do, because at the beginning it's almost like she's a love interest, like that he's kind of left behind. So, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for Christmas at Castle Hart. That's all I've got. Anything else that we didn't cover?
So, what's the best tree lighting so far?
Oh, out of the movies that we've seen,
yeah,
I would.
They're all very meek.
Christmas at Castle Hart really has like you're in Ireland and you have fucking earlhood here, and that's the biggest tree you can get for the town. It's like literally like 8 foot tall.
You know what I was also thinking too? Like, we're running out of money. It's like, do you see all the useless shit you have lying around that castle? All the garland you got hanging up? Cut that shit. You like.
I know. No, this one. I probably would give it to Haul Out the Holly because it has like that fucking like giant ass tree in the middle of town, in the cul-de-sac, I should say. This one is kind of disappointing, especially because, you would expect like a giant tree, and this.
What about the baking?
You know what? I can't really comment on figgy pudding. I don't know if they did it well or not. It's certainly it's not like a sexy baking. I don't think you can make figgy pudding sexy.
What was up with that leather skirt Lacey was wearing while they're making figgy pudding too? That was like, oh, that's like seems like really uncomfortable. So why are you wearing that? Go back to your plaid, like your yellow plaid bumblebee outfit with the sweater on.
See, again, I think Christmas in Rome did that better with the whole, baking setup, because there was at least some chemistry there.
And it also looked like a Santa's Little Helper like place instead of just a regular kitchen. Like, I'm going to show you how to make figgy pudding.
Yeah, that more looked like a bad Food Channel sort of like setup that they had in this movie.
Alden Brown had stepped away for a minute.
Yeah.
For him to come sneak in and like.
This movie's all really sanitized. It would do well to even just have like a couple pecks here and there. It's like they lean in, and then like one of those things where they don't like somebody breaks in, like Margot comes in and like, oh, Fiona Walsh is here, where they're about to kiss. Like that, at least that would like give the semblance of some sort of chemistry.
Yeah, but none of the movies have even had that. And look at the fucking poster. They're like a foot apart from each other while they're holding hands. Like it's like a 7th grade dance. Like where the teachers are like,
Actually, I kind of want to ask Lacey in that poster, like, are you okay? Do we need to escort you off premises? Are you feeling uncomfortable right now? Yeah, no, it's hilarious because like the Hallmark movies are so sanitized that they just don't have any chemistry whatsoever. And I don't know how people think like that's romance though. Like,
but again, I think the fact that like this is like middle-aged women porn, like the fact that they're clearly speaking, their emotions are well kept and under control. Like in this universe, where in back-to-back movies, Lacey Chabert is either divorced or suffering from a breakup. No, Andy and Christmas in Rome too. Like, so what was the situation like? Why'd you guys get a divorce? He was up late one night and playing Call of Duty with his guys, and I wasn't down for that. And like that's it. Like, that's when I knew he didn't love me anymore. Because in all these films, they're all very just like, I think you're great, but here are some things that are wrong with me. Those are things that are wrong with you. That's okay. Because you're great, and we can work on it together. It's like where's the Hallmark Christmas movie where like they're breaking like wine bottles and like throwing them at each other?
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's what you sign up for with Hallmark. That's what you get. It's just funny because there's just nothing to really get excited about. It's no excitement, no pleasure here. It's just like the women.
So let's look at some of these user reviews before we go into it. We got on IMDb, the partridge is still in the pear tree. 6 out of 10.
That's true. The partridge stays in his pear tree.
Another good Christmas movie from Hallmark. ... They gave it a 6 out of 10, so that's not really good. Embarrassment comedy, 5 out of 10. Christmas at Castle Hart, 5 out of 10. And they spell
lack of charm at Castle Hart.
Not good enough.
This person, I feel bad for them. It says, other than Hallmark completist quest's sake, my main reason, what do they got, a YouTube channel? It's like the Hallmark completionist there. My main reason for seeing Christmas at Castle Hart was Lacey Chabert. Okay, so this is you. This is basically you. Really do like her as an actress, and while her filmography is variable, she really disappoints. It's true. They're speaking truth there. I don't really see anything wrong with this. Wow, and they really must be a completionist because they really wrote out, like an essay about it. Yeah. Not good enough. Physically painful. I am physically struggling to get through this film. I'm wondering what the physical pain of it is. Like, what is it? Like, you doing push-ups while they watch or something? Boring, slow, bad storyline. The scenery and the ending are great, but a 5 out of 10. Wow.
First time for me. This is the first time that I've ever been so disappointed in a movie that I had been looking forward to. Lacey Chabert is one of my favorite actresses, but I could not even watch this horrible attempt at comedy. The actress that plays Lacey's sister in this movie was horrible and acted like a 5-year-old. It was disheartening to see adults act so simple. 1 out of 10. Oh, that giggling.
I like this one too. This will be our last one. 1 out of 10, awful. I generally like Lacey Chabert's movies. Not this one. This one was horrible. Maybe it would have been better without the sister. She overacted in every scene. Quite frankly, if I had a sister who lied about my identity, well, I won't say what I'd do. I'd also never quit my job because my sister couldn't keep her big mouth shut and gets fired. So I quit too. Pretty unrealistic. Wow, that's I'm sorry. If you had a sister, they definitely wouldn't be in it for you. They wouldn't support you in that one. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's all around. Like you'll see like 9 out of 10s, and then you'll see like 2 out of 10s for Christmas at Castle Hart. So on a scale of 0 to 10 Arabian CGI horses, what would you give Christmas at Castle Hart?
I'll give it a 5.5 out of 10. It's better than Haul Out the Holly, that's for damn sure. We still haven't reached the pinnacle of Christmas in Rome again. This is an inoffensive movie. It's literally standard TV film Drek. It's just simple. And I feel like as we watch, our last 2 films after this, they're all going to have the same beats and notes and story points, and everything's all assembly line. Fine, and whether or not you can tolerate it's going to depend on the acting and the plot. Here, there's not much acting to go around. Everyone's all very wooden or either overacting. I do think Stuart Townsend as Aiden does an okay job, but he's not very charismatic. And I think, it has like an Irish dryness to him, which is, fine. It's kind of a little bit, would be like more fitting if it was like English. But he's not bad, but I think the fact that, again, like there's no real chemistry between him and Lacey Chabert is like the most off-putting thing, especially in a romance movie. The fact that their relationship seems very second grade-esque, and the fact that it's all very platonic with this, you're trying to build up to this like fairy tale romance. As you said, I think you're totally right with these movies. I think there would be nothing wrong if at the end of them, because they're in their mid-40s, just like walk away with a handshake and say like, I made a friend. I do think Lacey Chabert's fun in this. She looks great in all her little outfits. It's the same damn movie she's been doing like the entire time, but it's fun enough. And if that's like the niche that is going to get her bills paid, God bless her for this, because this is like a fun little stupid thing. And yeah, 5.5. There's definitely worse things out there. At an hour and 24 minutes, I didn't feel like this really dragged. It kind of chugged along at a steady pace, so it's far from unwatchable Drek, especially on the shit that we've done on this channel. So yeah, 5.5.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what I gave Haul Out the Holly, but I got to give this a higher rating. I'd probably give it a 5.
I think you gave Haul Out the Holly a 5 too, because I think I gave that a 5.5.
Something.
That was good.
That's generous. Something like that. I mean, I would give it a 5. I think it's an okay movie. It's like you said, it's inoffensive. It really doesn't have too much about it that is not watchable. It's fine. It does the romance okay. It's not really anything to write home about. There are movies that I think, even Hallmark movies, that do it a little bit better than Christmas at Castle Hart, because this one is really sanitized, doesn't really have that much in the way of passion or romance or anything like that until the very end. At least it does have some sort of conflict. There's that whole misunderstanding that is going to come about because they are pretending that they're going to be someone else. It has like an interesting sort of idea that they're event planners, although I would say that probably most people don't find event planning that interesting, so it's kind of questionable that you'd want to watch a whole movie designed around that. But with that said, I think like it's fine. Everybody does a workman job, I would say. They're just in it. Like Lacey Chabert is obviously pretty good. She definitely puts in a lot of effort to everything that she does, and not in a bad way. It's not like an over effort. It's just, she's there. She certainly cares about these movies. So I think she does a good job. Everybody else puts in a workman effort, and it's a watchable movie. It goes quickly. For Christmas time, if you want to put something on, put it on in the background. You don't have to watch that intimately. Then Christmas at Castle Hart would be perfect for that. The only real complaint that I have is like all the CGI stuff that's kind of outrageous. Just looks bad. Just doesn't mesh well. They obviously didn't spend a whole lot of time on it. But other than that, not a terrible movie. Just not to the apex, I guess, of Christmas in Rome that we are holding as a pinnacle right now for our Brewing Gifts series.
Franco Nero alone is holding that pillar up.
That's right. Who would have thought Christmas in Rome would be like our shining example for our episodes here? But yeah, I don't know where we're gonna go next. Where are we heading? I don't know. I mean, I think she just recently did a Scottish one.
Yeah, we talked about that.
But I feel like that's now going to be too similar to Christmas at Castle Hart. I don't know. We'll have to. We haven't decided. We haven't decided where we're. What our next foray into Christmas romance.
Aw, she doesn't. Damn it, she doesn't star this one. But there's a Hallmark movie called Christmas in Tahoe.
That would have been a fun one.
That one stars Laura Owens as. Well, I even know some of my favorite places. Lake Tahoe, Cleveland, Mistake by the Lake. Ooh, George Lopez is in that one. And Pat Monahan. What?
I know, that's too bad. It's too bad that we can't get that one. Can't do that.
Yeah, why can't we have Pat Monahan? God damn it. Let's take a look.
I don't know. There's maybe Christmas Waltz.
Time for us to come home to Christmas.
Oh, we could do Winter in Vale.
That's not a
That's
Christmas
not a Christmas
movie.
one, though. Damn.
No, it's just
could have gotten the Vale, but no.
No, that one's just because I looked at that one too. It's just like a wintry one.
Damn.
No Christmas involved.
What's time for us to come home to Christmas? 5 guests are mysteriously invited to. What is it? An Agatha Christie one? Yo, it's an Agatha Christie inspired one. It's like 10 Little Indians, which is not supposed to be used as the title anymore. And then there were none. But no, unfortunately, this is not as interesting. 5 guests mysteriously invited to an inn. With the help of the owner, Sarah discovers that an event from the past may connect them and change their lives forever.
Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe.
That would be an interesting one because I am curious how they adapt that for this Christmas movie.
Is it actually a Agatha Christie novel?
Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe? Pride and Prejudice being the...
Well, yeah, but I don't know. Pride and Prejudice and Mistletoe. Darcy is a career woman who hasn't found love, but her life turns upside down when she returns home to help her mother plan a charity event.
Forced to spend time together planning a charity gala. No, I don't want another gala. No. I want another gala.
But then we're out of movie.
Last 20, we could do A Christmas Melody, which is directed by Mariah Carey.
What?
And stars Lacey Chabert and Mariah Carey. We might need to do that one.
Family for Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know. I might be stuck on A Christmas Melody. We have to do that one with Mariah Carey. Oh, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out another one to do here. But I don't know. Like I said, we kind of play it by ear, kind of figure it out as we go along. So
we hope you're enjoying Chaberting Gifts.
Yeah, we do. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're not having to sit through some of them.
There's a Royal Christmas.
Is that what we just did?
Now we did Christmas at Castle Hart. A Royal Christmas.
Christmas with
is
Earl.
A Royal Christmas is from 2014.
Oh, that's an ancient one.
Yeah, I think probably one of our first ones.
Yeah. All right, well, we hope you're enjoying Chaberting Gifts, and hope you stick around for our continuation of the series as we get closer to Christmas. We are on pretty much any podcast app that you can think of. So you can subscribe to us, leave us a nice review. It always helps us out. We are on Facebook and Twitter. Just search for us on there, Blood and Black Rum Podcast. We have an email address at bloodandblackrumPodcast@gmail.com where you can write to us, let us know what you like, what you don't like, what movies you want us to watch, and we'll take that in consideration. And you can also donate to us on our Patreon or Spotify pages, and put that back towards beer. So thanks in advance for anything that you can give. And hopefully we have you tune in again for some more Lacey Chabert Hallmark Christmas movies. It's been a fun time for us. So until then,
take care.